Welcome back to another video on Gearsaw Studios, and today I'm going to be showing you how to build yourself a very easy, simple starter nether bunker, all the easy keywords right in there. And this base is, well, very small, but its main thing is the fact that you can build it very quickly and it's very suited for emergency nether things, doing stuff in mod packs that are primarily focused on adventuring, things like that you don't need something big, you just want, hey, I want a home, I don't want to get attacked by random piglins, how can I do it? And also, because I forget it later in the tutorial, here's the enchanting room, with a chest for your lapis. So without further ado, let's investigate how we'd build a structure like this. Starting off, make sure you are in the nether. If you're in the nether, good job, you've found a suitable location. Yeah, pretty much you can build this anywhere that's not literally in the lava sea. Then, when we do that, mine out a bit of a wall. I'm going to be building mine at the lava ocean, so that way I can show how to deal with striders. And something important about this, if the magma is giving you an issue because you don't want to be crouching the whole time, then you can either get potions of fire resistance or you can actually have boots of frostwalker, which is pretty funny. Anyways, excavate yourself a small area, very easy. You don't need enchantments for this. This is good for something like a temporary nether base, especially if you're doing a mod pack that is, well, heavily focused on being in the nether for a while. And now, we have a small area here. Place all of your immediate utilities, and then we can start setting up some stuff. Note, you see that block right there in the lava? Make sure you do that, because if you build stuff like, I'm just gonna place it on top, no, don't do that. That's kind of ugly, because then you can see the gravel below and such. Starting from here, you can see I excavated a bit of this area, and then I placed down all that black stone. Notice they're spaced 3 blocks apart. This one here I misplaced at a corner, but I decided, you know what, I'm gonna work around it. And then I added this little bar here. Don't bother with this right now. This is just some experimenting to see if a balcony would work. Now, what we want to do is make this a valid strider pen. And an important step would be making sure striders can't actually escape. Thus, we will get down some walls, like this. And we can incorporate this as part of the build itself. And now, we already have a bit more going on. And from here, what we need is, of course, fences, so let's add some fences. We're going to be using a lot of crimson, but we'll also incorporate some warped into this build. Like this, notice double fence gates to keep it nice and traversable, and now my striders should be able to get in. Then, replace this interior area with warped nylium and decorate the walls. Maybe do something more blackstone-like, or you can try to make it be an imitation of a strider's natural habitat. Before I continue, I have a very simple question to ask. What do you imagine the life of a strider to be? Yeah, you're gonna expect me to ask about likings and describing, but anyways, the life of the strider. What do you think the environment would be like? Then, basically imagine that in your head. I know some people can't do that, but try your best. Then depict it. And thus, I did exactly that right here. I made a warped forest-esque area, and then I used some terracotta to depict the endless void, the fog. And then on the ceiling, made sure to continue that, and then I included a little bit of a basalt delta as well. And yeah, that's pretty much what I imagine it to be like. And now it looks like a cute little area. Technically, you could recede this terracotta into the walls like this in order to make it, a bit more realistic looking, but the idea still comes across pretty well. We want something like this, with a few extra modifications by making the walls a little bit deeper. Now, we have ourselves the strider pen. Very simple. These guys have lava, otherwise they can just, be cold. And then in here, we have a little bit of a carved out area. Here's what it looks like from the outside. Our wall design is very simple. It's a starter base. I want to keep it very simple for everyone to do. And you can see polished basalt, chain windows, and then polished blackstone bricks. Very simple stuff. You could have an open section right here. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I might leave it in just to add a little bit of a challenge for me building wise. And then from here, we need a flooring and we need all that stuff. Make sure the walls actually look good. and we could try it like this, potentially. There's a lot of different ways you can go about this. Make sure you have enough room to do everything, though. Just because it's a starter base doesn't mean, oh, I can build a really small base. Well, build enough room, even if it's not going to all be used. Just make sure you do that. And of course, beware of the lava. So yeah, bring some fire resistance potions as well. And beware of your building location not actually being large enough to support your ideas. Yeah, that just happened on camera. This is unscripted. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Oh well. Because I had a little bit of an odd mishap here with the way, I cut through this wall, I decided to make a little run through. Now, if you ever just want to park your strider for just a moment, you can go right through here. And now we have the main part of our base right here. Very simple room using the same design decisions I've done on the outside, and then a double door right here. There is nothing behind it yet. We're going to have 2 pallets for this base, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Very simple room, crimson flooring, and a very singular decoration, nothing yet, and then some storage. And you can replace whatever block you're sorting in there with the back with the block, although I'd recommend just using item frames. Since this is creative mode, I'm not going to bother with that. Then for the ceiling, warped. Don't forget some beams going across, lighting, lanterns. And that should be pretty good. We have chains here for our windows, I've already shown that, the walls. And of course, if you're having trouble, try incorporating more chains. Stuff like this, although you can always go back to walls if you're having trouble, just do whatever. If you're having trouble and something's not working, then make bad decisions until it works. Don't actually do that in real life, only in Minecraft. But anyways, what we need in here is a little bit of stone cutting. So real quick. What do you know? It's different. It's almost like the jump cut didn't work. But anyways, you can see here, now we have a bunch of decorations. I added some glowstone, a little bit of weeping vines to the ceiling, and then I completed this room, which is just our respawn anchor room. You can see on the walls, smooth and normal quartz alternating, very small room, chiseled quartz for the floor and ceiling, and then some blackstone on top. And then up here, you can see some warped planks, and then we have storage, tables, brewing stands, a melon plant in case of emergency. And then right here, I took out the chains on the window so that way we can have nether warped. On the outside, it's not super interesting, and that's kind of the point. You can build this in maybe like 20 minutes. Can be an emergency base, something you build quickly, stuff like that. It's not meant to be a big base, and thus it isn't. Well, here we have it. Very basic, small base, but you can build it in an emergency, as it will go through. If you don't have a ledge like this to build it on, you can make it L-shaped, or simply just a very simple corridor and not have this part. But then you have your interior, has some storage. If you really need it, a melon, although I'm not entirely sure if it can grow right here. They can grow in the nether, just very, very slowly. In fact, just to prove it, game rule random tick speed, 999. Okay, maybe it needs a bit more lighting, but still. Okay, I just don't think it's gonna do it. But anyways, oh, there it is. Well, you have that. We have here. Why? Okay. Well, you have to be a bit careful about all this. Make sure that the lava is not burning things through corners. But otherwise, yeah, it's a very simple, small base. You can build in an emergency. And if you're, looking for anything in the nether but don't want to make a commitment, this is a base for you. Either way, enjoy the rest of your day. Gearsaw.